Everyone, it's Jason again. This is my week 6 lineup for the Draftkings Millionaire Maker. Week 5 was a pretty good week. We had the Tom Brady, Chris Hogan, Martellus Bennett stack, and that did very well. And hopefully we can build upon that. Week 6, we're starting to get a bigger sample size of what's going on. And if anybody's watching and listening to a lot of the podcasts this week, out there, everybody's talking about the big running backs, the high-end expensive running backs in Le'Veon Bell, DeMarco Murray, LaShawn McCoy, Lamar Miller. Those are where the ownership is going. That's where a lot of people are playing. Christian Michael as well. And you see a lot of people talking about Pittsburgh, Miami, with not just Antonio Brown, but Sammy Coates. After last week, a lot of people are writing Sammy Coates, but we're not sure exactly what's going to happen with Coates with the injury, if he's going to play or not. And there's a few other things with the weather going on in that game that concern me as well. So what I'm going to do this week is just go after what's right there in front of me in this highest game total on the slate with Carolina at New Orleans. And I think that if you just look at it like this, both teams are desperate for a win in this situation. They're in the Dome in New Orleans. There's not going to be any weather contributing to this game. And they both have bad defenses, and they both have great offenses, and there's just going to be so much scoring in this game that it's going to go much higher than the over-under, which is 53 right now. And I just think that ignoring this game is going to be detrimental to your GPP lineup. So what I'm going to do is play the obvious, and I'm going to play Cam Newton in this position. Now, if New Orleans does one decent thing on defense, it is containing the wide receiver ones. And Kelvin Benjamin is insanely priced at 8,100 this week. So I'm going to fade him in this spot, but I'm certainly not going to fade Greg Olsen at 7,000. He is the most expensive tight end on the slate, but he's just in for an enormous day against this New Orleans defense. Continuing on with the game stack, I want the wide receiver that torched the Saints last year in Ted Ginn Jr., and I think he's in position to do it again. You know, Ginn is a boomer bust play, but he also has the return potential as well as that deep ball that and he's definitely in line for a few of them from Cam Newton in this game. So that's my stack. I'm going to continue on the other side of the ball because the Carolina cornerbacks are terrible this year as well, and I'm going to stack Brandon Cooks and Willie Snead attacking that side of the ball, and we have this huge game stack correlation play. And the entire theory of this play is this game where both teams score into the 40s, potentially one of them getting into the 50s, and I think this is a game where it could happen. So that's my thought process there. With my running backs, obviously I cannot play any of the expensive running backs, but it doesn't mean we're in a bad spot. We have Ryan Matthews at 4,900 against this dreadful Redskins rushing defense, and Ryan Matthews is starting to catch some more balls out of the backfield as well. So Ryan Matthews is in a really good spot here at 4,900. Great value play right there. And we're going to go to one of the more popular plays, but a little bit cheaper than some of the top-end running backs. Jordan Howard, Chicago at home against Jacksonville. Great volume, playing a weaker defense in Jacksonville. And I figure the points will still be there, and he's still at a pretty solid value at 6,200. Into my flex position, I want to go with Brandon LaFell. The New England Patriots are great at going after the number one weapon of the opposing offense, and in this case, it would be A.J. Green, of course. But LaFell's starting to get some good targets here in the last 2 weeks, and he did have a big game last week with the 2 trash time touchdowns against Dallas. And I'm thinking the same game theory applies in this one as well, where the Bengals will be playing from behind and having to throw quite a bit, and LaFell stands to benefit from that. For my defense, I'm going to go a little unusual with this, but there was so much salary that you had to use on all these receivers in this game stack for the Panthers and Saints that you have to pay down at defense. I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders, and it may look like a bad matchup. However, this game is going to have some bad weather in it, according to a lot of the reports. That could benefit the Raiders in this spot, and they do get some sacks, and they did have a 9 and an 11-point game in the last 3 weeks, and it would be a pretty good value at that price range. So that is my lineup. Good luck, everyone. Have a good week.